Joined by the mayor of the city of New Bedford, John Mitchell. John going for his fourth term. You know, I was thinking this must be old hat to you, but then again, it's election season. Do you still get charged up wondering what the voters might do when they go to the polls?
Well, the way I look at it, Paul, is that it's really a privilege to have served as mayor of our city. I mean, I get to get up every morning and try to help people. You know, when I was first elected, I said my number one priority would be to grow jobs in this city, and you know, that has been a tough task. But it turns out that, you know, over the last 5 years, the city's added more jobs than it has probably in the last 50 years. I mean, during any 5-year period, last year New Bedford had the sharpest drop in unemployment of any American city, almost 400 cities. So that's a pretty remarkable achievement, and it's not all the mayor's doing. Don't get me wrong, but what we've tried to do is establish that this city has its act together, and it's a good place for businesses to invest and to create jobs. And now the goal in the years ahead is really to sustain it. What we're trying to do is invest now to really build up some momentum, gain people's confidence here and elsewhere, so that in the long run we can continually grow and build our city into a stronger place.
You got some good news recently. The FBI statistics showing that violent crime is down here in the city. I know your opponents like to point out that, well, you know, sometimes those numbers don't tell the whole story. A lot of underreported crime. Charlie Perry saying that there's not as many officers as there were a few years ago. Do they make a point at all? Do you think the city could be doing better in that area?
Oh, I think, yeah, we're not resting on our laurels. We've made tremendous progress, but you know, look, if the numbers citywide look good, but you know, if there's a problem on your block, that's still a problem. And so what we're trying to do is make the progress occur everywhere in the city. The progress has left certain neighborhoods behind. I see it as my job to make sure that those neighborhoods catch up. I want people in every part of our city to feel safe, to be able to let their kids out and play and walk their dogs without having to worry about their safety. And the vast majority of places in our city, you can say that about the neighborhood, but not all. Until we can say that about all, I'm not going to kick back.
There are a lot of things, of course, you can work on as mayor. You mentioned public safety. You talked about the economic development. If you are elected for a fourth term, is there one or two things that you can say, you know what, I'm really going to hone on these couple of things?
Well, there are a number of things. I'm concerned about the fiscal stability of the city. Taxpayers have been put upon too much, in large part because of state policies that make it very difficult for us to reduce things like pension and health care obligations in ways that are reasonable to beneficiaries, but fiscally responsible to the city. So that's going to be something that I'm going to focus on, continuing to work on making certain neighborhoods safer. As I said before, I think we've made progress citywide, but some neighborhoods need to catch up, and you know, things like more community policing in those troubled neighborhoods, more cameras, better use of data, I think will go a long way. And then, you know, it's things like continuing to invest in the place. If you look at the roads in the city, I mean, they have been over decades allowed to deteriorate to the point where they are now. We've taken up the task of fixing them, and that's why you see road work all over the city now. There are lots of detours, and that's because we've committed to actually rebuilding everything, and we have to continue on that course in a sustainable, steady way.
Well, John, thank you very much for joining us here on election night. We wish you all the best and hope to talk to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.